The proper name for a North American beaver is Castor canadensis, and they belong to the family Castoridae in the genus of Castor. North American beavers have been known to be found all across North America in all kinds of environments, from the top of Canada in the Arctic tundra to the hot deserts of the north of Mexico. It measures between 74 to 90 centimeters from the top of its head to the end of its body. The tail measures between 25 to 30 centimeters, and it weighs between 11 to 32 kilograms, with an average weight of 20 kilograms, making it the second largest rodent in the world. It is a semi-aquatic rodent, and so has webbed hind feet and a tail that is shaped like a paddle to help it move in water. Its eyes have a nitrating membrane on them. This is a transparent or translucent third eyelid which can be drawn across the eye to protect it whilst allowing visibility at the same time underwater. They don't get cold whilst they are underwater, as they have a thick layer of fat that insulates their body against the freezing cold waters. Its fur is actually waterproof, which is achieved by scent glands close to its genitals giving out an oily substance. This substance is known as castoreum. They are much better swimmers than land animals, so tend to remain in or close to the water as much as they can, so they can make a fast getaway from predators. They can be underwater for at least 15 minutes at a time without need to come up for breath. They also have nostrils that seal up whilst underwater. Their fur is made up of coarse outer long hairs and shorter fine inner hairs. American beavers vary in colour, with about half having pale brown fur, with the rest having either reddish brown fur or black fur. They build their lodges, which is the name for their homes, using mud, rocks, sticks and twigs that are found in and around the water. These homes can either be touching land or be surrounded by water. In order to warn others of a danger approaching, they use their tails to slap the surface of the water. They also use their tail to store fat for when they don't catch any food and need to feed their bodies. Their lodges can be as large as 3 meters high and 12 meters across. Once the basic framework is in place, it is overlaid with sticks and mud. They will then strip the bark off and eat it, leaving the logs bare. Inside the lodges, they will carve out 3 individual chambers that will house their young. These will be above water level, so will be in dry areas. The nursery, the sleeping quarters, and their feeding chamber will each have their own entrance and air hole. They can also dig burrows into riverbanks as part of these lodges. The lodges can be as large as 3 meters high and 12 meters across. Once the basic framework is in place, it is overlaid with sticks and mud. They will strip the bark off and eat it, leaving the logs bare. Then they will use the mud to insulate against the cold. It will take a beaver colony 20 days to build the lodge. In order to make it easier to build these lodges, in water, they build dams to stop the flow of water and construct them in the resulting pool of water. These dams are made from tree logs, mud, rocks, and grass until they are watertight. They can be extremely large. The beavers will repair any damage as they come across it, whether on the lodge or the dam. They are very persistent about repairing any damage to the lodge or the dam and will work tirelessly to ensure that it is structurally sound and watertight. They are considered pests in some areas because of the damage they can cause the surrounding land by flooding and their ability to cut down trees. So as to deal with their building of dams and flooding areas, they have either been relocated or exterminated. However, non-lethal methods of dealing with beavers have been developed called beaver deceivers or levelers, invented and pioneered by wildlife biologist Skip Lyle, which have been utilised by both USA and Canadian governments. The North American beaver is able to lift its own body weight when it's moving logs around. Their food of choice is hornbeam, ash, beech, red oak, black cherry, alder, willow, maple, birch, poplar or aspen, not to mention vegetation such as water lilies, cattails and other vegetation found in the water. They tend to collect food in the late fall and store them under the water, digging them into the riverbed where they can retrieve them at winter time. The North American beaver has no particular mating season, and it will have kits, which are the beaver young. The kits will be with their parents for up to 2 years. They are prey animals, and the predators who are on the lookout for them include bears, mountain lions, coyotes, and wolves. Beaver parents are monogamous and will mate several times. The gestation period of a beaver will be for 128 days, and most female beavers will not reproduce until they are at least 3 years old. However, there are some which start slightly earlier. Compared with European beavers, American beavers have small round heads with a wide muzzle. Their tails are wider and more oval shaped. Although sharing the same name, American and European beavers are genetically incompatible. This is because American beavers have 40 chromosomes as opposed to the European beavers' 48, which means that it is not possible for an American and European beaver to mate and successfully produce young. The oldest fossil of a North American beaver is 7 million years old, found in Dayville, Oregon. Their work is known for helping other waterfowl, especially by helping to thaw areas of open water where it is frozen over, thus allowing an earlier nesting season. Up until the 17th century, there are estimated to be 100 to 200 million North American beavers until they became popular for their fur and were widely hunted. There are now estimated to be between 10 and 15 million North American beavers in the USA and Canada. Beavers are a protected species, as they were almost wiped out in North America in the 19th century when their fur and castoreum were highly desirable. In the late 19th century, protective measures were brought in and their population has grown.